Good evening. Call the Public Works and Services Committee to order. Attendance has been taken. Alder Jones and Alder Paffrath have asked to be excused. The first thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes for September 27, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. First item on the agenda is 0732-22. Communication sponsored by Mayor Mesa on behalf of the Downtown Racine Corporation requesting use of the city right of way for the annual holiday parade on Saturday, November 12, 2022. The staff recommendation is that permission be granted to the Downtown Corporation to close Ontario Street, State Street from Ontario to Main Street from State Street to 6th Street, 6th Street from Main Street to City Hall on Saturday, November 12th for the holiday parade with following attached stipulations. Fiscal note, there will be nominal costs to various city departments on a regular shift basis to assist in implementing this event. Assistant Commissioner Pritzlaff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a request by the Downtown Racine Corporation to hold their annual holiday parade. Staff did review their submittal. Once again, it's going to be basically the route is Main Street from State to 6th and 6th on up to the City Hall. The stipulations, there's nothing out of the norm there. We do cover all the any meter charges within that fee. That's $750, and staff recommends approval.
Any comments or questions? Henry?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Normally in the past, we've had police officers along the route. How many do we plan? Because we're short-staffed right now, short-manned, and this is gonna be a public event. Like I'm concerned that something crazy could happen, like it did in Waukesha, where somebody would take their car down a parade route. Do we have officers that are going to be manning this? Do you know?
I don't know at this point. We could follow up with the Downtown Racine Corporation and get back to you on that. I'm glad to do that. I don't know if they've coordinated or not with Chief Robinson and his people. So
Well, they should, if I may, Madam Chair, they should, and part of the stipulations are that Public Works, the city engineer, the chief of police provide that assistance for these type of events. So I'm quite sure that the chief's aware of the event. If you want, we could send him an email and you could follow up members of the committee to let you know how many officers he plans on staffing it, but we have no purview over their deployment. For how many of those staff. We will drop off barricades as we do. That's part of the cost of the event. The sponsor erects those barricades, before the event. It takes them down afterwards, but that's the extent of the services that we provide as a public works department. So
Yeah, well, in the past, we've always done a great job, and you guys have done a great job.
yeah,
But things are kind of wild right now, and with our staffing, the police department being and continuing to be reduced by November 12th, we could have less officers on duty. I'm concerned for the public safety in this particular case. So yes, I would definitely appreciate an email from the chief of police on how he's going to man this. And I guess today we would have to approve or not, but I really would like to know. I don't know that we can do anything in the future if there's not enough people, but we definitely need to be concerned and conscientious about public safety, the people that are in the parade and the people that will be watching the parade. It's been a popular parade, not as much as our regular parade, but people do come out, especially if it's a nice day, and they enjoy the tree lighting ceremony and all that stuff that comes with a parade. So
we will email the chief and have him reach out to the members of this committee.
May I also add?
Okay. Are you done, Henry?
Yeah.
Okay.
May I also add? Going to what Henry said, being a part of some of the events that go on downtown Racine, I've also witnessed some of the lack of staff. And then also if it could be considered rather to reach out to DRC as far as when you drop off the DPW barricades and things like that, who is directly responsible to making sure that those are set up, even though that we drop them off, I feel as though that it still relies on us as a city, making sure that it's done properly.
Yep, we always stay in communication with all the sponsors, whether it's St. Patty's Day Parade,
Mhm.
Fourth Fest, Holiday Parade, whatever the event is. We work those details out. Sponsor, where the barricades will be dropped off. We instruct them to put those right back in the same place that we dropped them off, so we can pick them up. But the sponsor is responsible for erecting the barricades, and they're all very good at this. They've all got a lot of knowledge and experience with these types of events, so we never have a problem with the placement of them. We never have a problem getting them back either. So, but yeah, we've been working with Kelly Cruz, obviously, in this capacity for several years now. And she's becoming a seasoned pro at running these events now.
Thank you, Commissioner. Henry?
Yes, I'm well aware that you guys, Public Works in particular, has done an amazing job of coordinating with them and setting everything up. You always do a good job. But today is a different time. And even though we've been really good at this in the past, the current circumstances with our staffing at the police department particularly is what concerns me. And I'm wondering if we don't have enough staff available to properly cover this, if the Downtown Racine Corporation would hire private security to do this. And part of their maybe conversation with them to beef up the security if it's like coming from the police department, if that could be done as well.
We'll start with an email to the chief. If he has enough staff there, I think that issue becomes a moot point.
Mhm.
So, but those are things that may be considered in the future for events 2023 beyond. If staffing levels, aren't at the levels that they need to be to provide services for these types of events. But we'll let the chief respond first. If he's got it covered,
Mhm.
I think that question will be answered. If not, that's something we can then see if the chief can reach out to DRC. And I'm on the board of directors of DRC as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'm the city appointed
Member.
member, if you will. So I would make sure that we're in lockstep with the DRC events.
Fantastic.
We'll check with the chief first.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Everybody approves. Okay. All right, item 0707-22, communications body sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of Department of Parks, Recs and Cultural Services, submitting the results for contract 2022-0077 Silver Park Picnic Shelter. Mr. Mulder?
I was here a couple meetings ago, hoping that this project would come in under budget. It did. It was probably $70,000 over budget the first time. We got approval through finance to go ahead and rebid it again. And it came again, $60,000 over budget again. So we got 130,000 in there. This time it came back at 193,000. This is a small shelter that it's a four-legged shelter, A-frame that would be outside of that island, or at Silver Park. And we just can't foresee doing that at this time. We're gonna have to rethink this project and ask for this to be received and filed at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Mulder. So this item will be received and filed. Next item on the agenda, 0748
That's out of order. You have to do a motion and there has to be discussion.
okay, sorry. All right, is there any questions?
No question.
Okay, Henry.
I see that it was put up for bid, but do we have any connections with any organizations like OLAs that would build something like that and not come in at this excessive price that we could pursue? Do you
Well,
know?
that would be the thought, that we would relook at this project and see if other ways that we may be able to do it. Right now, it's a prefab pavilion that's coming in, where the last two people that bid on it said they may be able to do it cheaper if they were able to just go out and buy the lumber. But that would have caused us to have to redo our professional services and all the plans and specs. So we decided we try it this way. It didn't work. If we can carry forward the money and we can redo it a different way, maybe that's a solution. I don't know.
May I follow?
Okay,
Yeah, do we, Mr. Movitt, do we have, within our purview, the ability to reach out to some of these other organizations that may have an interest in sponsoring or building this particular, what do you call it, shelter?
Shelter pavilion,
Um,
absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so can we mandate you to reach out to them and see if there's an alternative to this
You
bid
can do
process?
that, but that would be one of my looks, you should do that, sure.
You're gonna do that anyway. Okay,
Any other comments, questions? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to receive and file this then.
okay, receive it, Bob.
Second.
Okay, this motion will be received and filed. Next on the agenda, 0748-22, communication by Alder Jones on behalf of the Department of Parks and Rec, submitting the results for contract 2022132 Zoo Pathway Permanent Repair. The staff recommendation is to be awarded to CW Apparel Incorporated in the amount of $1,025,076, they being the lowest responsive bidder. Funding is available and for objects 450405711 Park and Lands Improvement. Mr. Moback.
So yes, this project is part of the storm that came in 2020. There was a temporary fix that was done, and now this will be the permanent fix. The budget was set up at 1.3 million. This came under that dollar amount, so that's great. My understanding that there was 5 different contractors that bid on it, and this Apparel was the lowest. I can answer any questions they might have on this project.
Comments, questions, Henry?
Have we worked with Preparo before in Oregon entity?
I don't think, I know our department has never done that. I do know I looked it up. They are part of the project that Petrified Springs is doing out there along their river bank area. I found that that's one of the projects they're doing. But I don't know if this is, John might have that answer.
Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, they were the subcontractor for Riley when we built the Civic Center parking garage between the Johnson Building and Festival Hall. They're an earth moving company primarily, is what they do. So it's a very responsible, reputable contractor.
Cory?
Question, so as we're looking at, with the majority of it being concrete and pavement, given the current concrete shortage and cement shortage and things like that, is there, with the contract that we have signed or looking to sign, is there any wiggle room as far as standard deviation, as far as increase in costs and time, as we're looking at that variable with this project currently?
Well, I think the cost is all set unless there's something that comes up along the way that just sometimes happens.
Right.
The date, we're definitely going to have to mess with that one a little bit because of the timing that we're in. Right now, I think we were working with, let's see, it was either May 31st or July 31st that we were going to move the project to.
Okay.
I can't remember how long they said this project was. I think it was a 12-week project altogether.
And they did lock into this cost regardless?
As what is said in the contract and what is in their bid, yes, but if anything else comes up with change order or something that they find that we didn't know, then there could be a change.
The only thing that I look at is the concrete situation, the cement problem that.
You're right.
is facing right
We
now.
had to delay a concrete parking lot because there's not enough.
Right. Thank you for answering.
Henry?
Tommy, run us out, what was the distance that needed to be
Sure.
shared?
So I try to give you a kind of a visual. So if you're going down the zoo beach overlook, going down to the pathway, and you're gonna now go behind the zoo amphitheater there. Just on the, let's see, would be the south end of the zoo amphitheater, right about there, all the way up. Is that Augusta, the first street?
Yes.
And just beyond Augusta, that big old bluff there as well, will all be redone. And then part of this was a grant that was written that would include now a smaller overlook that will take you down to the beach there as well. So not only the pathway that you normally have seen, But now there'll be a stairway, like a 3 or 4 step stairway, that'll take you down to the beach. So,
Are you talking about by Augusta Street, there's gonna be a?
no, this will be more on the lines of right behind where the zoo amphitheater is, right behind that,
Oh,
in that
okay.
area. So it'll only be, like I said, a 3 or 4 step into the sand.
any other questions, comments? Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Okay.
All those in favor? They're all in favor. All right, the next item on the agenda is 0747-22, communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of Tom Molback, Director of Parks, submitting final payment for contract 202-00023 Horlick Athletic Field Turf. Routine Peterson Construction Company. Staff recommendation that the work completed by routine on contract 202-0023 athletic field turf be accepted and the final payment authorized for a total contract of $1,478,121. Final payment to include retainage. Fiscal note, contract 2020023 was authorized under resolution number 0160-20 dated March 17, 2020. Mr. Molback.
We're just asking for final payment on that project. It's complete, it's done, and people are playing. So
Henry?
Now, you said you were playing on it, is the field holding up good?
absolutely. So I think it's in 2020, so it's in its second year. The Raiders play on it, the high school football team plays on it. The JV plays on it, and we also have youth football and Racine playing on it. So they play Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and some Saturday mornings there. We are set, starting next year, every other year, to have the turf on the football field and the baseball field maintained, so that it keeps its wellness through, they say 10 years, but who knows? Depends on how, it varies depending on how much you use it, and how it's used.
Was that part of the original contract, or is that something we're gonna have to?
No, it's in the budget. If you look in CIP, it'll be in there starting next year, every other year, for that maintenance of the turf.
Any other questions, comments? A motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Everybody's in favor? Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Molback. The last item on the agenda is item 0758-22, communication by Alder Jones on behalf of the Department of Public Works submitting amendment to the ABM parking services contract in the not to exceed amount of $13,959 per month. The staff recommendation is that the mayor and city clerk be authorized and directed to sign amendment to the ABM parking services contract not to exceed the amount of $13,959 per month for parking operation services. Fiscal note, funding is available in Org Ob 60383521100 professional services. Commissioner Rooney.
Thank you, Madam Chair, committee members. So I'll read you the memo if you haven't had a chance to look at it. ABM currently provides park management services for all off-street park facilities to the city of Racine. Those services include revenue collection, reporting, equipment maintenance, and parking revenue deposits in the city of Racine financial system. ABM and the city of Racine signed a professional services agreement for park management on October 30th, 2014. The contract ran for 7 years, from December 14th, 2014 through November 30th, 2021, and included the cost of managing the parking ramps and amortizing the cost of acquiring new parking access and revenue control systems. Common Council approved an extension of this agreement for management services for all off-street parking facilities for the ramps and all the surface lots, which included the maintenance of all computerized fare collection and gate equipment owned by the city of Racine. That extension expires on December 31st of this year. The proposed contract extension would be $13,959.50 per month, with termination of the contract by the city of Racine within 30 days written notice. Staff recommends that ABM contract be extended on a monthly basis beginning January 1st, 2023 for a period no longer than 12 months expiring on December 31st, 2023. Funding for this work is available in the following account: parking system, enterprise system, and that is currently budgeted for in the 2023 budget that we will be considering later this month.
Right?
Does the $13,000, $959.50 per month actually cover the income that we get from the use of these facilities?
So they collect all the revenue, all the income for all of our surface lots. At first, back in 2014, at that time, they entered an agreement with the city. That was to update all the park equipment, parking access revenue control systems. The gates that we had, the pay stations, et cetera, were outdated. New equipment went in and they maintained the operation of that, the maintenance of it, and they were responsible for any calls for service that were required. They took care of all those things, and then that is how the city also paid for the cost of that equipment. It was amortized over that 7-year period. Now, about this time last year, they took on the services of not only dealing with the transient revenue, but also collecting revenue for all of the renters as well. So this is an extension of what we did last year. Not only the renters in the off-street facilities at the locations where they put the park equipment in, but also McMinn Ramp, which is not gated, and all of our 20+ surface lots that we have throughout the city. We have surface lots in downtown, uptown, and West Racine. So they went to a placard system for renters, and they're responsible for procuring all those little individual parking contracts with all those monthlies, or whether they're on a quarterly basis or yearly basis. They take all that in, and then they take in their revenue and they pay that back to the city. This is the service to take care of all that. So this is an extension of what we were doing through the end of this year into next year. Part of the 2023 budget, we'll be looking at contracting all of our parking management out to contractors because of lack of staffing in DPW. So that's something that Ron and I are working on with the purchasing agent. We'll be contracting on snow plowing services, grass cutting, weed maintenance control, cleaning of the ramps, the stairwells, the windows in the stairwells, the parking lot, litter pickup. All of it is going to be even on-street meter collection. So they're going to take, we're going to have a contract to take on those roles. And we're even looking at meter enforcement as part of that as well. So we'll see what that brings, but we are not staffed anymore to handle a municipal parking system. So, and that's all been placed in the budget for 2023. We'll be securing those services with the purchasing agent through a solicitation process that will go out the door probably as soon as next week.
Yeah.
So this is part of it that's already been going on. The balance of the system will be looking at that for 2023.
So is this just money that we're putting out there without them giving us any money? We're just using their services and they're collecting all the money anyway? Or do they give us what they collect as far as money goes?
Oh, yeah, they deposit the revenues back into the city. This is their cost to take care of all the equipment that's out there. They have to maintain it. We bought it, we own it now, but they have to maintain it, take care of it, respond to any and all calls, gate malfunctions, fix anything, replace whatever, bill acceptors, credit card readers, you name it. Any of the equipment that's associated with that, they're also responsible for assigning all the surface lots and directing all those off-street monthlies to their facilities, collecting their revenue and depositing it in the city's financial system.
So we make more than the 13,000 a month with income that comes from this?
Yes, we do. It's not a lot. The parking system is historically, well, I wouldn't say near history, but past history has been maybe nothing more than a break-even operation. You know, and that's a decision, you know, that government elects to make. You know, do they want to try to create a bigger profit on it and return those monies, you know, into reserves in the city? Do they want to take a loss to provide, you know, lower parking rates to foster more people coming to shop in these three areas? You know, we can't give the parking away for free. You know, the cost of maintaining those 5 parking structures alone is very, very expensive. We have to keep those in a good state of repair. We have 20 surface lots that need attention as well. They also include utility costs. You know, all those parking garages have lighting systems, electrical systems, cameras in them. You know, there's costs to everything that we do. Nothing DPW does is cheap or inexpensive. So yeah, will 2023 cost us more to run a parking system that will collect in revenues? We don't know yet. It'll depend on what we get for solicitations in the next couple weeks. Again, we're budgeting for that. So those are things that we're aware of. I guess I don't have an answer. Will our expenses, you know, be more than our revenues in 2023? Because we don't have the solicitation numbers in yet.
Thank you. So my initial question, I think you clarified a little bit. So, and again, I'm new here. So based on what you were saying, that the contract that we have with that company started in 2014, correct? And this is the renewal of this contract now?
We renewed it a little over a year ago.
Okay.
So it ran from December 1st, it was a 13-month extension, and it runs to the end of this year. And that then included managing all the off-street facilities and all the monthlies at more than just the 4 parking ramps that they currently were doing. So that added on the responsibility of all our surface lots and those who park there. And some of our surface lots that we have pay stations in, like the lot just south of the fountain there as well, which has revenue equipment in as well. So.
And then going to the next step of that question, so it was a staff recommendation that we only renew once a month. Is that because the changes that we're seeing that might move forward with independently contracting different areas? I guess my question is, what went from year to year to month for a staff?
We are looking at other options for the parking system. We're looking at it currently with the administration, you know, the city administrator, on other various possibilities for the parking system. You know, there's 3 ways to run a parking system. Either the city does it, you know, you contract out for the services, you know, or perhaps you look at a different way to generate revenue from the parking system through its assets, and, you know, process perhaps monetization of those assets and see what you can do there. So that's something that we're exploring as an option. If it's something that is favorable to the city of Racine, that it can be operated by a contractor over a longer period, where they perhaps, you know, provide instant revenue payment to the city of Racine for the benefit of running the parking system for perhaps a fixed period of time. That gets a cash infusion of the parking system. That may be a financial benefit to the city, better than what we're going to be experiencing. So we're exploring that right now. We're meeting with a consultant. We've hired one to do that. That was authorized to be done in this year's budget in 2022. So, you know, we've been exchanging data with them on the park system. I think we're meeting with them a week after next, if I'm not mistaken, to see where we're at with that. So if that lends itself to a better deal, that's why we want to be a month to month. That way, you know, if we have a better plan that we can provide the common council, let's just say we get all the details worked out. I'm going to make this up. July 1st, we're going to go another route here. Well, that way we can cut them loose with these parking services and go another route here. You know, if it's a way that we can actually make money on the system as opposed to potentially losing money. So that's why we set it up as That is the payment per month for all of 2023, but we have the option to say, hey, we are going to terminate the contract, give them 30 days and say, you know, we've got a different option. Or who knows, you know, maybe something different changes in the city, staffing levels change. We get more employees and we go back to managing it ourselves and I think that's probably the scenario that's not likely, but it gives us the option and flexibility to do that. So, and I think we'll be looking at that as well for the other parts, like if we're going to hire contractors to come plow the snow or whatever. Again, we're going to give us prices. You know, it'll be a la carte for some services, X number of snow events and ice events you take care of, we'll pay you for with an option to cut loose. If you have to, you know, we were looking at procuring services for how much it would cost to collect the meter revenue, because somebody has to do it. Again, that'll be another line item in what we're going to be procuring, you know, solicitation work. And again, we'll have that option to, again, terminate those services monthly. So that's what we're approaching this, so we don't commit ourselves to something for an entire year if it's not necessary.
Henry?
What's the relationship of this company to the passport system?
Two different companies completely. Passport is an app on the phone. Passport is a way to pay for on-street parking revenue, simply by loading up, you know, you plug a zone in, essentially is the first 4 digits of the zip code. And then those parking meter spaces, whether there's a meter there or not, they have a space number assigned to it. Then you simply enter the space number and then you can pay on an app, you know, and be cashless. So that's an option that we put in place a few years ago because of meter obsolescence. You know, the parking meters that we have up there, way beyond their useful life, way beyond it. And they are not inexpensive to replace the parking meters today. They do a lot more different things than the ones you see out there that we have. You know, you go out in Milwaukee, you have individual meters you can slip a credit card in, you know, all that. I mean, they're talking about meters are about $500 a throw. And we've got, you know, 2,000 plus parking spaces in the parking system. So, you know, not wanting to go ahead and make that capital investment in replacing parking meters, if there's other options to run the parking system, then the option is as meters, we have part obsolescence, those things, you know, there's the sticker on them that you use Passport app for, and you can pay for your parking, you know, with the phone. So two different companies completely. That was something that was procured prior to, you know, when I become the Commissioner of Public Works. It works. I think we've got about 30%, if I'm not mistaken, participation in Passport as it relates to our meter revenue. In a perfect world, you know, we'd love to get that up to the 80, 90%, you know, to where things are going in the future. We've got to get people, if we're a smart city, we want to be a smart city, we got to start providing smart city technology out there.
Right.
So, you know, those are some of the things that you look at when you can have a parking operator consider running things, because they can invest in technology and they can implement that, lowers their operating costs. A lot of it's tied to labor. If they can have smart technology out there, like kiosks out there, where you just go up to the kiosk, punch your license plate number in, you're set. You know, you don't have to go back to it. You know, your car, you pay for 3 hours of parking. I mean, things have changed drastically the way we've been used to doing business. You can park there, no reason you can't go to lunch downtown, go buy something in West Racine. As long as you pay for your meter, it's in the system, you know, you can take your parking costs, you know, that you pay for with you. A lot of times you buy some time at the meter, whether you use the app or the coin, you pay for 2 hours of time, you're done in 40 minutes, and you kind of leave money on the table too. But then again, it opens up, you know, more options for parking, so you can oversell parking too. These are the things that you know, create, you know, better revenue options and makes it more attractive for contractors or providers to do this. So again, Ron and I'll be soliciting with the purchasing agent. You may see ABM back as a potential bidder for this work. There's plenty of other parking contractors out there that do this. They're all pros. They're you know, so we'll see what we find out. Most things will be back before this committee when we get the solicitations in.
Thank you, Commissioner. Got questions answered?
No,
No? Do you have another question?
no.
Oh, okay. All right, does anybody want to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion has passed. We have exhausted our agenda, so I would like a motion to adjourn. Okay, we're adjourned.
I know. I'm usually emotional.
So you just found out you were on the
Are you-
committee?
since you're gonna-
You just found out you were on the committee?
Well, no, I knew I was on the committee. However, was not aware that there was a meeting this evening until about 2:30 this afternoon. So I had to quick rearrange some schedules and that was because I could. That's what I said. Well, thank